Hello everyone, it's David again, here to spread the good word of JMS, Babylon 5, Season 3, Episode 5, Voices of Authority. It starts off with a meeting of the War Council. Sheridan and Delenn and Garibaldi, Marcus, and in this one, we get a special surprise visitor to the War Council. Mr. Draal pops in. The first ones, Delenn says, may still be around, and so kind of tired of the constant warfare, they kind of keep to themselves on missions that we could never hope to understand. So Draal comes to the meeting, and Delenn says she wants to try to contact them to help in the upcoming war. We cue the entrance. We have John Shuck, S-C-H-U-C-K, as Draal, and Sherry Shattuck as Julie Masante, everybody's favorite, or at least Captain Sheridan's favorite political officer. We zip on in, and Jakar is mentioning to Delenn at the Zocalo a meeting with Sheridan and the word he overheard called the Rangers. Da, 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 da. So Jakar is on to it that there might be some forces that could possibly help the Narn. Do you think that, I don't know at this point, the war much could be done to help the Narns? Everything was still down on the down low, and they still didn't want the Shadows to know that they were aware of their presence. And so I don't know that at this point anything could be or should be done really to help the Narns. But if you have any different ideas, put it down below. Julie Masante arrives, and she's the new political officer, like what they used to have in the old USSR, North Korea, and China. And basically it is to help ensure the ideological purity of the troops under their command. So this kind of, to me, is reflecting the totalitarian shift, the Earth Alliance, to kind of basically find out who the troublemakers are, to make note of them, and later to get rid of them, basically. So we have Miss Masante showing up. Ivanova sent down to Epsilon 3 to get locations of the first ones. And she was supposed to have been Sheridan, but Sheridan got called off to talk to Miss Masante. We learned as she gets down there, Draal doesn't like surprises, but as Ivanova was talking, I guess she grew on him, and he says, I like you, you're trouble. We zip in, and we learn in a dinner date, if you will, between Sheridan and Masante, that Earth doesn't have homeless. That people who are homeless are just lazy or mentally unstable. Really. If someone doesn't have a job, that must mean they don't want one. And if you look at this episode, it is a direct ripoff of 2020 Earth. A lot of the, we're just going to change everything. That's because you don't want one. It should be, you should go out there. There's all kinds of help wanted signs at the burger joint just down the road, and they're paying $5,000 an hour, and why don't you, you're just lazy and blah, blah, blah. Well, have you ever tried to raise, 4 or 5 kids by yourself with no child support? I mean, not everybody who is homeless, is mentally unstable. Not everybody who doesn't have a job means they don't want. Doesn't mean they don't want one. When I worked in a hospital, I worked a lot with poor people, indigent people, and I can tell you how many of them had 2 and 3 plus. My mom at one point had 4 jobs. Between delivering newspapers, working at a sandwich shop, working as an accountant at 2 different jobs to try and help meet bills that we had. People who are poor are not poor because they're lazy or they're stupid. Sometimes they've just had a bad run in life. But as Masante pointed out, as Sheridan asked her, well, when did all this occur? You know, getting rid of all the homeless and all that. And she said, but basically we rewrote the dictionary. Well, okay. I guess if that's the way you want to play it, that's the way it's going to be. Draal places Ivanova in the Great Machine after dusting himself off. She sees Sigma 957. Now, we know Sigma 957 is very likely going to have some role in the new Babylon 5 series. So, any little things that mention Sigma 957 in the old series, pay attention to. Because I guess we're going to see it at some point in the new, or in the next series. And I referred to it in previous updates, too, as to where and how I got that information. Ivanova also, surprisingly enough, gets evidence of President Santiago's death by the shadows. It doesn't directly implicate them, but you hear everybody's favorite shadow minion, Mr. Morden, in the background. She gets evidence, and she gets the recording of that, and boy, does it cause a stir. We end up... While this is all going on, though, Mrs. Masante tries to seduce Captain Sheridan, and it makes me wonder, do you think she arrived with orders to try and do that? Or do you think she just naturally fell for Captain Sheridan's hotness? So I kind of go backwards and forwards on that. It's, a lot of them, the former Soviet Union was kind of infamous for using sexpionage, they called it. Hello, kitty. One of my cats just walked right by. I don't know if you saw that, but there she goes. We zip on in, and Michael Garibaldi is confronted by Jakar over secret meetings. And so I tunes in, and Jakar says, basically, I can help you with some of your issues. And Garibaldi's like, huh? And we'll see at the very end what he means by that. Ivanova takes off in the White Star, and she ends up finding the walkers of Sigma 957. And we also learn that the walkers are not very fond of the Vorlons. We zip on over, and it ends with Michael Garibaldi and Zack having an argument over trust. And it ends down in two more scenes. We have Ivanova talking about the first ones, and she says, one down and several thousand more to go. And I'm wondering what exactly she meant by that, because I think there's, only 6 or 7 of the first ones? So what does she mean by several thousand more to go? If you have any ideas, put that one down below. If that's just a goof up in the writing or what. And it ends with Jakar giving a book of Jaquan to Michael Garibaldi with the admonition of he doesn't speak Narn, so Jakar says, learn. So hopefully Garibaldi doesn't thump it, because as we all know, you're not supposed to thump the Book of Jaquan. So, at any rate, lots going on this episode. Thank you, everyone. We're close to 150 subscribers, so I'm hoping to get to 250 here. It's early December as I record this, so hopefully by the end of the year we'll be at 250. Cross your fingers. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next episode.